In 1977, sleep researchers J. Allen Hobson and Robert McCarley proposed something strange. They argued that dreams aren't messages from your subconscious. They're your brain's best attempt to make sense of random electrical noise. At the time, it upended decades of psychology, and nearly 50 years later, scientists are still arguing about who is right. Every single night, your brain builds entire worlds, impossible landscapes, conversations that never happened, people who don't exist. But why? If sleep is supposed to be rest, why is your brain working this hard while you're unconscious? Well, it turns out your brain never really stops working. It just changes what it's working on. Let's start with one of the biggest misconceptions about dreaming. People often imagine dreams as hidden messages, buried desires trying to surface. But most modern neuroscience tells a very different story. Dreams may not be messages at all. They might be side effects. Here's the leading idea. During REM sleep, your brainstem fires off random bursts of electrical activity. No story, no meaning, just noise. Your cortex, the part of your brain responsible for thinking and interpretation, receives this noise and tries to do what it always does, make sense of it. It grabs fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination and stitches them into something that feels like a narrative. This is called the activation-synthesis hypothesis. In other words, dreams may simply be your brain's storytelling machine working overtime on garbage input. But that's not the whole story either. Think of your brain like a busy office at the end of the day. Thousands of documents pile up, some important, some useless. Someone has to sort through it all, file away what matters, and shred the rest. Many scientists believe that's exactly what dreaming helps do. Sleep, especially REM sleep, appears to strengthen important memories and weaken irrelevant ones. Your brain replays the day's events, quietly deciding what's worth keeping. Imagine trying to run that same filing process while you're awake and distracted by every sound, every notification, every task. It wouldn't work. The brain needs the lights dimmed and the outside world switched off to do this kind of deep organizing. That's part of why dreaming almost always happens during sleep and rarely while you're conscious. There's also an emotional side to this. Psychologist Rosalind Cartwright spent decades studying dreams in people going through divorce, grief, and trauma. She found something striking. Dreaming seemed to help regulate difficult emotions overnight, almost like your brain running an emotional decompression cycle while you're unconscious. People who dreamt about their pain rather than avoiding it often coped better the next day. Then there's a stranger theory, one that suggests dreaming isn't about memory or emotion at all. It's about survival. The threat simulation theory, proposed by Finnish researcher Antti Revonsuo, argues that dreams evolved as a kind of rehearsal space, a flight simulator for danger. Think about how often dreams involve being chased, falling, or facing some kind of threat. According to this idea, ancient humans who mentally rehearsed dangerous situations, even in their sleep, may have reacted faster and survived more often when real threats appeared. In this view, nightmares aren't malfunctions, they're practice. Of course, not everyone dreams the same way. Some people report vivid, cinematic dreams almost every night. Others rarely remember dreaming at all. Interestingly, this isn't necessarily about whether they're dreaming, but whether their brain bothers to store the memory of it. Most people actually dream several times a night, whether they recall it or not. And then there are the outliers. People who experience lucid dreams, where they become aware they're dreaming and can sometimes control what happens next. Scientists studying lucid dreamers have found unusual activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain region tied to self-awareness, blurring the line between sleeping and waking consciousness. It's one of the closest things neuroscience has to controlled access into the dreaming mind. So, why do we dream? The honest answer is that no single theory fully explains it. It's likely some combination of all of these. Random noise being interpreted, memories being sorted, emotions being processed, threats being rehearsed. Not one job, but several, all happening at once behind a curtain you rarely get to see clearly. And maybe that's the most fascinating part. Every night, without any effort or awareness, your brain becomes an editor, a therapist, and a war strategist all at the same time. Then morning comes, the curtain drops, and most of it disappears like it never happened at all.